I could pull a better podcast out of my head. Hey, kids, welcome to the Tempest Universe.
China.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
It's China to me, China.
Army officers say the missile, found sometime last week, has been inspected at Roswell, New Mexico, and sent to Wright Field, Ohio, for further inspection.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside.
China.
This is the Tempest Universe, man. Hold on to your ass. You're in for a hell of a ride.
Oh my lord, feels like it's Wednesday. I have like no energy. I'm completely robbed of energy. It must be some kind of secret conspiracy. The government, NSA, somebody is siphoning my soul at the moment. I am your host, Manny. This is the Tempest Universe, as you heard like 4 times already. Man, it really has been one heck of a hump day. Actually, I don't know. Monday was... I can't say Monday was totally rough. It was like an okay day. Tuesday was a little rougher. And then Wednesday, I don't even know. Like I literally was going to postpone this whole podcast thing for a day or a week. That's how drained I am. You can't, I don't know. Is it allergies? Is it Wuhan? Is it COVID XE5-33328? I have no idea. Something is bringing me down low. But that's not going to stop us from talking about what we need to talk about. But before I do that, listen, you guys go over to the YouTube channel and subscribe. Because eventually that is going to be the only place you're going to find out when we get these videos up. As a matter of fact, I was sitting here the last 30 minutes thinking, I just got to move this damn podcast into video. I mean, it's easy to go backwards, right? You can go to video, extract the audio, and put it into the podcast for people who really do enjoy listening to this while you're on the shitter at work, taking your extra 20-minute break. But for those of you who like to watch it on the shitter at home because you have a TV in your restroom, well, there you go. Bonus time. Food for thought. Things I gotta think about. Man, I hope you guys are not feeling this way. I hope you had a great Wednesday. We are halfway there. For those of you who are listening on Thursday, you're ahead of the game because you're closer to Friday than I am right now. But looking forward to the weekend. Looking to film this weekend, believe it or not, a travel video, which will not be released on the Dark Horde network on YouTube. This is strictly travel, and you guys will not see it probably until like maybe May or June, but I'm recording it right now. I got to plan these things ahead. In addition to that, there will be kind of like a return to the Dark Horde network, the Dark Horde podcast pretty soon. It will be on video. There is a infamous place out here called the Black Swan, and apparently they're having a festival. Now this place is supposed to be fairly well haunted, but people like going there, so they do these little festivals as well, right? Why not get yourself a good ghost probing while you're buying something from some local vendor? I mean, hey, to each their own. So, but we got to validate the dates because the dates seem to be all over the place because, that's the way these things are. People are coming out of COVID and these establishments, and they're still a little bit iffy. They're still a little bit like, what do I do? Open, don't open, mask, don't mask. I mean, that's what's happening in the U.S. right now, right? Like what they were saying, I think it was in New Jersey or somewhere up north where you have to wear a mask in the airport. You can take it off when you get on a bus or a train, but if you go eat at a restaurant, you can put your damn mask back on. Who the hell wants to eat with a mask on? Come on, give me a break. That's the Tempest universe we live in here in the U.S. So we got 4 stories to talk about. A little bit more about the 1,500 pages that the UK Sun got. Apparently, somebody else got a similar request, FOIA request, that was fulfilled that lasted about the same amount of time as far as how long it took the UK is starting to get theirs, and they actually shared similar documents, but not the entire cache, not the entire 1,574 documents. But we'll get to that in a little bit. Something about good old, my boy and yours, Elon Musk, and something he mentioned recently. Recently, I don't even drink wine. Recently at a TED Talk, so that's going to be pretty cool. And then we're going to talk about some old UFO stuff from Illinois, which I didn't even know about. So, and for you guys who don't know, currently I do have what's called the Tempest Universe Minute that runs out of Illinois from a station out there, and another fellow podcaster, Marty Angler from the Angling Water Show. But it also runs on public radio. So these guys are getting the Tempest Universe Minute, which is kind of like, I take one lucky story from Monday and Wednesday and I turn it into a about minute and a half, 2-minute clip. Just give people the highlights because, we got to penetrate the rest of the minds in the U.S. and abroad. Anyway, enough of this messing around. We got some new music, some old music, but either way, here it goes. Check this out.
created by go. You know the thing.
Way to go, a-hole!
Why so serious?
I literally had a POTUS moment. I was just like clicking all kind of shit, and I didn't know where the hell I was. Like I was, where am I? I don't know, but I know that in those 1,574 documents that we've been talking about that were released by the DIA to the UK Sun. I mean, this is the hot topic, right? Because I still can't find the damn documents. At least not the entire 1,574, for fuck's sake. I even put out a APB on Twitter to see who has it. Anyway, in part of those things, which were, of course, related to the Advanced Aerial Threat Identification Program, also known as ATIP. For you porn stars, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the study of UFOs that happened from 2007 to 2012, which was funded by the United States government, even though they denied it the whole damn time. The whole time, this secret Department of Defense program was unacknowledged, thanks to Stephen Greer and his great catchphrases. You know, some of the things that were on there, which we talked about before, were invisibility cloaks, anti-gravity devices, transversible wormholes. That's Star Trek-ish, isn't it? And also a proposal to tunnel through the moon with nuclear explosives, according to several dozen of the documents obtained by Vice.com. So Vice.com also, back in 2017, when, you know, the shit hit the fan and all these videos, well, the three main videos started coming out and people started having questions. Well, at that time, just like the UK Sun, Vice.com actually submitted their own FOIA requests about ATIP. They wanted to know more. Well, for fuck's sake, don't we? Don't we all? We've been asking the same damn question for quite some time without getting any real answers. You know, they just give us shit. So finally, as we know, probably in the last month and a half, all of these documents have started just pouring out. And, you know, Match.com, Vice.com actually got some of these. Now, there is a link in the article. You can actually get to the Vice.com articles, go to the link, and there's 57 individual PDFs, for fuck's sake. I thank you guys for making it available, but come on, can't we just one fucking document? We can just download all this shit. Now, I know it's not the treasure trove that the UK Sun has, because a lot of these files are 3 and 4 pages. There's a lot of meetings there with R.I.P. Senator Harry Reid from back in the day, you know, dating back to like 2009 and stuff like that, where he was meeting with the folks that were running ATIP at the time, talking about their ideas and things they wanted to do and stuff like that, including putting a nuclear bomb through the damn moon. Yeah, there's other things in there. So these are like meeting minutes where they had conversations with Senator Reid, and they're bulleted out so that you know exactly what the hell they were talking about. But the funny thing is that according to Vice.com, they do share some of these documents with what was released to the UK Sun, but it's not one for one. So they have a smaller bit of these items. But still, you know, the folks that I've been talking to, and actually in the Tempest Universe Minute, I try to let people know this is not science fiction. This is the real deal. These are the conversations these guys are having. $10 million worth to start. This is money that was spent. You know, it's kind of like when you would hear about the government paying for people to remote view Russia. You think, you're full of shit, aren't you? You're lying. They would never do that. Not my government. No. They would tax the shit out of me, but they would never be involved with remote viewing and witchcraft and all that nonsense. Well, guess what? You're 4.2 far fucked because you've been lying to yourself. Hell, they're not even lying to you. You're lying to yourself. Just like many people are lying to themselves now when they see these topics. They're like, no, Captain Kirk did that. No, Patrick Stewart, he does that all the time. It's not my president. It's not Biden. Well, definitely not. It's not Biden, because if he did, he wouldn't remember. But I'm telling you, out of all of this, Lou Elizondo, who was running the damn program, he's come out and said, yeah, that shit is true. It is. It is true. Other things that they were looking at, right, is communication through high-frequency gravitational waves. Yeah, but you can't write this stuff. Well, maybe some people in Hollywood did, but now it's real. A warp drive, dark energy, and manipulation of extra dimensions. Folks, I don't know how more clearly this message can be. What you thought, or what you saw as a teen, as a kid, on television, with all the people with the badass makeup. What they were putting out was what was being studied at the time. Okay, we thought it was all science fiction. It's not. It's the real deal. One of the things in here, it's in regards to my favorite person, Deuce Bigelow, the space gigolo, Bob Bigelow, the billionaire. Well, actually, no, he's not a billionaire. Downgrade him. The millionaire, who at the time had a private company called Bigelow Aerospace and Advanced Space Studies, or BASS. Rob Bigelow, of course, we find out now that him and the late Harry Reid were kind of best buddies. And out of the $10 million that was first contracted to BASS came out ATIP, which is the focus, really, of this particular situation. Now, the DIA, up until these documents were released, vehemently denied that ATIP studied UFOs at all. Said, no, they wouldn't do that. They don't exist. It's China. It's Russia. Hell, it's Cuba. But now we know that's not the case. And that's what these documents are doing. They're pretty much kind of clearing up the air for everyone that these are real. These are real situations. What we don't know from any of these documents, and probably what we don't know from the documents that were given to the UK Sun, is whatever happened to all of these. Whatever happened to all these technologies that they were referring to and talking about. I mean, they must have seen that shit somewhere, right? Like, you don't just show up to work one day and call up your local senator and say, hey, Harry, you want to, have some mushrooms and trip through some dimensions? Or we can go down to the lab and do it ourselves. These are not just conversations you just pull out of your ass. I'm sure that the reason why they had these conversations about dimensions, gravitational waves, warp drive, was because there's evidence of it. Okay, we're just trying to figure out a way how to make it happen. That's what's in these documents. These are real government. This is not like in 1960s, somebody like secretly handed over some paper to some rubber dicker somewhere that nobody knew. And he passed it along to somebody else, and then no one knows where these documents came from, but they look like government documents, but they look fake. Well, now we know that the government gave it up. We know these documents. We know where their origin is, but people aren't piecing it together. They give no fucks about it. I'm sure there's other more important things going on, like, venereal disease and stuff like that, but come on. Take a moment to look at this. Understand that your imagination, the things that you imagine the future would be like, what's happening behind closed doors. That's all I got for you on this one. I can't. I'm losing energy. I'm so low right now. I think I'm going to pass out. Check out this track. And don't forget to look at the link in the description and make your way over to the documents. Those 57 PDF files that the Vice.com has. I mean, it's fascinating, especially the Harry Reid minutes. I'm thinking I'm going to pull all those together and maybe give you guys a synopsis about them on Monday while I'm still looking for the big packet, the 1574 from the UK Sun. So yeah, I press the button.
righty then.
Listen, I want to apologize to anyone that's on the shitter right now and listen to that last song because you're going to have an HR incident, I guarantee you. Tucker Carlson. Tucker is a friend of ufology and all the people that love UFOs. And really, he's more out the closet now because of, folks like Louis Elizondo and this whole To the Stars Academy and all that craziness, right? But Tucker Carlson has a series right now, and it's called the Tucker Carlson Originals. Well, guess what? It's a documentary series, and, UFOs are going to be in it. He has one that's coming up, and Tucker is talking to these guys known as the two butchers. I'll let you think about that for a second. Why would Tucker be talking to butchers? Turns out that these guys, they go by the name of the Beard Butchers, Seth and Scott Perkins. They joined Tucker in one of the documentaries, and he says they say, listen, it's got to be the aliens, man. Now they're looking at this from the perspective of a butcher, a ranch hand, someone that normally would deal with cattle, and the topic is cattle mutilation. Here's something that Seth said to Tucker regarding his experience with these animals and why he feels like this is not normal. It's extremely out of the norm. And he says if these animals had been found with these pieces surgically removed and not making a lot of hack marks when you're cutting, somebody knows what they're doing. This isn't something that a normal person, a butcher or anyone that works with cattle would be able to do. He says if this is true, the prevailing theory seems to be that it's some sort of extraterrestrial activity added Scott and claims that cattle in New Mexico were being found mutilated. What kind of sold Tucker, according to this article, relating to how these mutilations occur, right? Because we've seen these, way back when, it was freaking decades, dealing with mutilated cows for what damn reason? How dumb of an alien, you guys join me on this, how dumb of an alien do you have to be for it to be 2022 and your ass is still mutilating freaking cattle? Unless you need the parts for something. You can't recreate it yourself. What's going on? I mean, you got to be dumb as hell. Hell, you got to be dumb as hell to still be, taking humans away for your probings. You must really like it because this cannot be a job for you. Anyway, they also added that just given the fact that there is a lack of evidence at the scene, because one of these things that we employ in our shop as butchers is heavy equipment. So we hoist these animals up with hoist and other things, machinery. And that presents, for even an experienced butcher, a lot of challenges, especially when you're dealing with an adult-sized bull. It's almost impossible. They go on to tell Tucker that these things weigh about 2,000 to 2,500 pounds. And if you're in the middle of the damn field and you're having to manipulate one of these gigantic bulls, without freaking machinery, how the hell are you going to do it? And how is it, even if you did have machinery out there, why wouldn't you leave any evidence behind around the carcass while you're doing your nasty little dirty job on the cattle? Things that make you go, how do you? It's nuts. It is crazy. And the fact that this is still happening, a lot of people back in the day said it was some kind of a cult. Well, which fucking cult knows how to levitate cattle? Somebody tell me. Because I'd like to join that cult. Which cult can lift up 2,500 pounds off the ground, not disturb the ground and the grass and the field around it, and still be able to surgically mutilate a cow or a bull and then go about their business. That's just, it's extraordinary. I mean, I'm so floored that this shit's still happening, to be honest. So I don't even, maybe it's Bigfoot. That's why we don't see his ass. He's been in medical school getting his surgical degree. To this, he was asked a question, Seth specifically, what do you think it is? He says, I don't think a human will do all the extra work to perform these tasks. I mean, why would you? It's too much fucking work. Really. Too much damn work. Tucker responded, thanks for the reality check. And based on the evidence, I think you put it really clearly. Listen, the whole cattle mutilation thing, it just makes no damn sense. Who the hell would travel, or even in between dimensions, or travel from, 8 billion light years away just to get a little bit of cattle? I don't get it. And why leave the damn carcass behind? Take the whole damn goddamn thing. Learn how to barbecue, you little gray fuckers. Use the whole damn cattle. We don't need to find that shit laying there. These are the things that just make you think that something's fucked up with these aliens. This whole conspiracy thing. And cattle mutilations are horrible. Completely horrible. I mean, these things affect the ranchers. And, be nice enough. Don't litter. Maybe someone should put signs. If they have a bunch of cattle, put a sign out with a little alien and maybe having a cart behind them floating with a carcass on it and say, don't litter. Take the damn thing with you. For fuck's sake. So this is what's happening, right? So I've been watching other Tucker Carlson interviews and stuff like that on YouTube. And listen, the guy is into it. He supports it. And you need a name like this that has the reach that he does to get the information out. Now, I wish he would take this damn 1,574 pages and, ram that thing like a porn star so we can get it out there. I mean, people will watch it, won't they? Tucker Carlson getting his groove on. Come on. There's more to the interview, and of course, eventually we'll have to check out the actual documentary series. It doesn't really say on here if it's already started or not. I haven't heard of it, and like I said, I've been watching some Tucker Carlson videos in the last few weeks quite a bit. But I'm sure we'll be able to find it. Keep an eye out for it. And pretty sure Lou Lozano will probably end up in one of those, and anyone else that's attached to this UFO craziness. So check out the link in the description, of course, as always. And check this one out. Hopefully, this won't get you into any HR problems.
Didn't mean those things, I'm sorry. Doesn't matter anyway. We've been here one time too many. Wonder what will happen next. We both know that this ship's going down. Let's get off and leave before we drown. There's nothing left for us to say, 'cause we'll see through. There's nothing left for us to say, 'cause we'll see through. 'Cause we'll see promised that nothing would break us, that we'd always find a way. When all was said and dust had settled, something didn't feel the same. We both know that this ship's going down. Let's get off and leave before we drown. There's nothing left for us to say, 'cause we'll see through. Let's save ourselves the courtesies, 'cause we'll see through. We both know how this thing goes. Should I leave or should you? There's nothing left for us to say, 'cause we'll see through. do. 'Cause we'll see through. We are see through.
Don't fucking scream at me.
Where's
you
the
dumb
money?
fuck you? Look at you with your fucking 48% body fat.
$1897 was a fascinating year for the United States, believe it or not. So this year there is a thing about the 75th anniversary of Roswell going down. Back in the 1947 to be exact. And this is around the time where people just bring up Roswell all the time. The anniversary is in July, and that's around when you're going to have the actual conference. And let's be honest. It's hard to really give two shits about Roswell. It really is. It's just too much. I mean, they got damn Roswell series on it, movies. There's a lot of things about Roswell that get overinflated into the reality a lot of people think really is. That is aliens running around going amok. But prior to Roswell, in 1897, there were a shitload of airship sightings. Now, people refer to them as airships because they look like, from the way many describe it, as cigar-shaped UFOs. Now, these things, at the time, balloons, hot air balloons or blimps were not the thing. There were a few people in Europe, and maybe an individual here who was kind of playing around with the idea of putting a blimp together, but they weren't even called blimps at the time. But there was a rash of sightings throughout the United States in 1897, one of them being right here in Texas, in Aurora, Texas. And there's a whole story behind that. And I alluded to that as a result of the Edinburgh UFO Festival, where we might have been privy to some behind the scenes for that particular revamp of a UFO conference. But I was told by Daniel Jones through Facebook that apparently there's not going to be a conference. There's very little support for it. What can you do? And that one had a really good story, right? Because this airship or UFO crashes into the farmer's windmill. It crashes. The town people find the damn body. They don't know what the hell to do with it, so they bury it in the town cemetery. They even give it a headstone. Somebody moves the headstone. Somebody else steals the headstone. Some attorney in Dallas tries to, put up a reward for it. And then all of a sudden, they just put another headstone and they move the headstone and they block people from going into the damn cemetery at all. And then a few years ago, the town kind of was, okay, hey, let's have a freaking conference about it. And it was all great and dandy, and then it just died off. Now it's not coming back. Some of the presenters at the time were talking about this airship situation. Well, it turns out that April 13th of 1897, not only in 1897 did we have shit going on in Texas, we had stuff going down in pretty much the Midwest and the West Coast. People were reporting nationwide these cigar-shaped spacecrafts. Well, really, they didn't call them spacecrafts. They didn't. They called them airships. They didn't know they were coming from space. They said these things were either cigar or boat-shaped. They said some of these had oars running from the bottom, and at times they would land, and a figure would come out of them to do what they looked like they were performing some repairs. That's what was going down. In Illinois, specifically in Nillwood, on the 13th, a witness reported an odd-looking craft that sat down in the field for 15 to 20 minutes, then flew off in a northerly direction. The amazing thing about this is that these folks, the witnesses, were all reporting the significant speed, the velocity that these things were running. Some of them estimated that these airships were doing about 150 miles an hour. I mean, if you're riding a damn horse, I don't know how you can figure out 150 miles an hour, but for fuck's sake, it is. Can't call them liars now, they're all dead. On April 14th, these crafts also returned, and hundreds of people were reporting these ships. From Hillsborough to Carlisle, Nashville, Marlin, Rock Island, Lincoln, Mount Vernon, and Elburn in Illinois, all these witnesses saw this airship. And like I said, there were nationwide these sightings. No one ever figured out what the hell was going on. But the feats, the speeds, the maneuverability of these things does not sound like a blimp. Like, for fuck's sake, we've all seen the Goodyear blimp today. That shit does not move that fast. It really doesn't. What was it, 2 years ago? We had that big scare in New Jersey as the Goodyear blimp was headed to the Meadowlands, and people thought it was a UFO. Come on, it's freaking 2020. I think it was 2020, actually. Really? You still don't know what a fucking blimp looks like? But you could imagine people who are running around in a horse and buggy seeing something like this, probably shook them to their core. Completely nuts. This is the 1897 stuff, and there's so many UFO sightings and stories prior to Roswell. And hell, even Roswell, when it first happened, the story died out. And it wasn't until many years later that somebody decided to bring that story back and try to get that attention that it deserved. There's more to the story, especially if you live in Illinois. And I don't even know if this particular newspaper is still available in Illinois. The Macoupin County Inquirer. That's where a lot of the reports were provided to these guys in Illinois, to this particular paper. And actually, if you're in Illinois, you might be able to go to the library, check out that microfiche that's on digital now. You may even be able to find out a little bit more about what was reported by these folks. But this is just to let you know that the story of UFOs has been here for a very long time. Very long time. Way before Roswell. Check this out.
Sometimes you just need
I want to say a quick welcome to Hulk Wolf and Jeff, who are in the live chat right now on Spreaker.com. If you want to listen to this live, can hang out with Green Man, hang out with Dre, which he's in the video, by the way. Hang out with, who else is on here? I know it's somebody else. Oh, the Nom. Hang out with the Nom. And actually, should be meeting up with Norm at Area 51. I'm planning to, put some kind of I Hate America t-shirt on him and throwing him over the gate at Area 51 and see what happens. I'll catch it on video because why not? I mean, he's an Asgardian. He should be willing to take the probing as much as any other person, like Dre does. All right, apparently Hulk Wolf is Jeff, so I can't win for losing. That's what happens when you have no energy, to be honest. Totally. Anyway, here's the deal. Elon Musk. Yesterday, we heard this, not yesterday, Monday, last episode, we heard the story about Spaceship Neptune. That wonderful, ginormous balloon down in Florida. It was going to take you into almost low orbit, not past the Kármán line. It's going to take as long as hell to get up there. You'll have a suite, you have a bar, you have some food, some music, and hopefully something to save you in case the balloon pops. But they were talking about six figures, like anywhere from 125 to 175 or something like that. Like you literally will have to cash in your 401k to get your ass on it. And you'll be at the edge, close to the edge of space. You're not, space, not space. You won't be there. But the view is fantastic. I still think we should all get together and get something going so that we can put some flat earther on one of these balloons. I think it would end the argument for good. Take a flat earther. We don't even put him in the damn basket. We put the fucker at the top of the balloon. That way they can't say that the windows are interfering with the flatness of the earth. Because they'll say that shit. They really will. So that's my vote. We find out who is the leader. I can tell you right now, whoever is leading the flat earth movement right now is not strapping themselves to any homemade rockets, right? That they get parts from Craigslist. That movement sailed. It went out the window with the last guy. So we need to find out who the hell is leading this movement so we could freaking put a seat for them on top of this balloon so they can see that shit, 100% in your face. That way you can figure it out, bring it back to the masses that there is no damn turtle. But with all that being said, with Spaceship Neptune, Musk is saying at a TED conference, he says, listen, I'm 50 years old, but I think that theoretically we could offer a trip to Mars for $100,000. There is a problem, right? There's a problem. He says, listen, it's going to take about 1 million people before Mars could be self-sustaining. Hell, you could even get sponsorship to get your ass up there. You go to your local church group. You're like, hey, I want to go to Mars, but I'll bring the word of God with me. Can you sponsor me? I can see people doing that. I can see people doing all kind of stuff in order to get sponsorship to get this one-way ride. There's nowhere on here where he says your ass is going to come back. You literally are going one way to start a colony on Mars. I still think a lot of people would do that, right? It's something new. It's a step that has not been taken by humanity in the past. Here are the conditions, though. On average, the temperature is minus 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Quite chilly. But again, by comparison, on average, the temperature in Antarctica is minus 70 degrees. Not a big deal. We can do this. For 100 G's. I honestly think he should do it for like 50 G's. But one of the things that he says is, by the time we get this going, by the time a Mars colony is self-sufficient, there won't be a Musk. Fuck, we won't be here either. We might be there when someone finally lands on there. It maybe starts in a little Martian hut. But he says we'll be long gone by then. We're not going to see that full colony up there. But for 100 G's, he can make it happen, baby. He can get you up there and your one-way trip. Listen, I would imagine that there's going to be, whenever this comes reality, when it comes to fruition, that there's going to be a lot of kids out there who may forego, going to college or forego finding a real fucking job, after 2-3 years of college, maybe 4. And they will find a way, maybe even trade in their tuition bill in order to take this one-way trip to be a pioneer on Mars. It is completely nuts, the price differences that you see in these different endeavors when it comes to the commercialization of space and not space. I guess you got to pick your poison. You're either about to kick death's door down, so you take a hot air balloon, a really massive one, probably the size of your scrotum. You probably take one of those up to space, not space, spend about 150 G's, and be happy about it. You could die on the way down. Or you can make your life matter. You can end your life being completely radiated on Mars and starving because there ain't no damn food except potatoes. You make the choice. I would imagine this price is going to come down. I kind of see Elon just, dropping the price on this to the point where everybody can fucking go. He'll empty out half a freaking country in order to get someone up there. So, it is what it is. You guys, you got some spending to do. This is the end of the podcast today. Like I said, I've got low energy. I can't do it. But I appreciate every single one of you for listening. I'm going to gather up all those Harry Reid, may he rest in peace, all those documents from ATIP, and we're going to make heads or tails about it. Because the Harry Reid that we saw in the last few years, he was all gung-ho, all about the people. The people must know about UFOs. We got to do all these things about UFOs. We got to let the story out. They're not telling us everything. Well, for fuck's sake, Harry. Apparently, for a few years, you weren't telling us shit either. What can you do? Ciao.
Strange vibration.
time to flip the page and prove them wrong. It's time for rebirth. Yeah, time's up to say goodbye to all the haters, doubters, and non-believers trying to bring you down. In the blink of an eye, you'll realize that there's so much more to the book than the page you were stuck on. Finally, you will be free to live a life you love living instead of the life you think other people want you to live. Remember, you're the highest